Okay, so welcome. So if the previous question, we spoke about the youth climate action on global north and global south, we'll bring the context from the local action. So on the second session, we'll still engage youth, and the topic will be around Indonesian youth actions on climate to create a better future. So again, I kindly encourage everybody to please join us. In this particular session, we will discuss from the local perspective, as in Indonesia, contribution and responsibility shared among youth generations to overcome climate change. We will introduce to you the project, program, efforts by the youth group from Konservasi Alam and Green Youth Movement in protecting the environment. In this platform, they will also share some inspiring stories and to exchange expertise as well as their knowledge. So to commence the discussion, let's welcome our moderator. He is SDG Certified Leader and Technical Cooperation Analyst from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, Republic of Indonesia. Please step forward, Yoga Hadi Prasetya.
Check. A very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Yoga Hadi Prasetya, and you can call me Yoga. I'm a Sustainable Development Goals Certified Leader of Indonesia and also a Technical Cooperation Analyst who works for the Directorate General of Sustainable Forest Management, the Indonesian Ministry of Environment and Forestry. So it is a great pleasure to see you all, the speakers, also the participants who come or who join in this beautiful Indonesia Pavilion COP28 UNFCCC, and also through the online streaming. The number of young people of productive age in Indonesia will reach its golden age by 2045, with a proportional prediction that 70% of productive age will dominate in 2030. Welcoming this, preparation is needed to prevent potential conflicts or crises in dealing with large population in the future. One of the ways is by strengthening the environmental rescue network. The issue of climate change is an issue that concerns the younger generation in many countries. Cambridge International said in its first global perspective surveys that more than 11,000 students aged 13 to 19 were interested in global issues, such as climate change at school. However, in Indonesia, a survey conducted by the IDN Indonesia Research Institute of people aged 15 to 24 years old in the form of random sampling from 12 cities and several agglomeration locations said that 79% said climate change was a serious issue that needed to be faced. Indirectly, the green lifestyle is starting to grow in many young generations amidst the busy issue of climate change. Although it has not yet become a significant movement that can foster an environmentally friendly culture in communities or societies, especially for the younger generation. The desire to take concrete action in protecting and managing the environment is starting to grow. So, it is necessary to provide a platform for the younger generation to make it happen. Indonesia already has a national level networking forum called the Green Youth Movement, Nature Conservation Cadres, and Indonesian Council of Youth Development, which should be introduced to the world to expand access to knowledge and experience from many countries, as well as inspire other countries to do the same. Without any further ado, let me introduce our speakers for today's session. The first speaker will be Mas Deva Ardan Gandhi Hanafi and Mbak Jaseline Evani Yosekwan as the Green Ambassador of Indonesia Green Youth Movement representatives. The next speaker, along with Mas Grafita Eka Purnama as the Green Ambassador of Indonesia Nature Conservation Cadre representative. Also, Mas Budi Sugandi, philosophy doctor, as the chairman of the Indonesian Council of Youth Development. To all of the speaker, may I call you by Mas? Mas is the Indonesian way to call a brother. And Mbak is also the Indonesian way to call a sister. So I will try to call you all Mas and Mbak today. So to all of the speakers, you may come to the stage, come forward, and have a seat. I do believe that we, the participants of the Indonesia Pavilion COP28 UNFCCC, who come offline here at the Expo City Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and also who come through the online streaming, would like to know more about what are your organizations stands about. Also, the acts regarding the climate actions. Is it adaptations? Is it mitigations? Or to raise the voices of youth itself? In particular, to contribute to the climate change depletions. Therefore, I would like to ask all of the speakers, how are you guys?
We're doing fine.
Fine, it's all good? Dubai is great.
Really?
Yeah, since also this is my very first time to go to Dubai, so yeah, I'm amazed of the what the peoples do in this beautiful city. However, I would like also figure out like from all of the speakers right now, the panels, I want to know more about who are you, what do you do, what your organizations do in particular. So therefore, I would like to invite Mas Deva Ardan Gandhi Hanafi to give the presentations.
Distinguished moderator, distinguished delegates, thank you so much. It has been a great pleasure for me to be here to stand up in front of all of you. Climate change, a problem that we are facing right now, is getting worse and worse every year. When I was little, I always asked myself why there's environmental problem occur, why there are floods, forest fires, and health problem. And then I realized that all start from nature and how we behave towards it. Growing up as a teenager made me more aware about nature, about how a youth can give the big impact to the environment and people around them to start creating change. Hi everyone, my name is Devardan Gandhi Hanafi. It is a very big honor for me to be here to present my topic about facing through an environmentally generated civilization in Ternate City and preventing waste pollution as a form of marine ecosystem preservation. Honorable delegates, The Earth is an ocean planet. In this world, it cannot be denied that the sea is one of the main factors in human life. The sea is the beginning of life and the source for all creators here. On the other hand, we all know that plastic pollution is one of the most pressing environmental issues we are currently facing. But how did it come to be? Moreover, where does all this plastic in the ocean come from? Every year, about 400 million tons of plastic products are produced around the world. It includes plastic bags, bottles, food packaging, and even furniture. Plastic are the most common form of ocean litter, comprising 80% of all marine pollution. Most plastic that end up in the ocean come from littering, household waste, industrial activity, and waste disposal. So what makes plastic so dangerous for the marine ecosystem? It threatens ocean health, the health of marine species, food safety, quality, and human health, coastal tourism, contribute to climate change, and one of the most dangerous one, microplastic. We all know that plastic disturbs marine ecosystem. It's not only when it appears on the surface, when it destroys, it is more threatening to life. It is microplastic. This issue was pointed out on one of the Sustainable Development Goals, on the 14th, Life Below Water. They figured out what we as the inhabitants of the Earth can do to create a better life below water. For example, start to should not buy bottled water and using tumbler, run a campaign on the effect of plastic use, organize a cleanup project for river and ocean, reduce waste, and find a goal 14 charity to support any donation. The question, what does this have to do with Indonesia as a state actor? As one of the largest archipelagic countries in the world, it also has a big influence in preventing climate change through the effort it has made. Indonesia's territory is 62% ocean and 38% land. It has more than 17,500 islands with a coastline of more than 81,000 kilometers. Indonesia's vast sea area makes Indonesia a country that has a great potential in the maritime and fishery sector. Indonesia is ranked second as the largest fish-producing country in the world, which supports the country economy. Indonesia has 1,000 of beautiful coastal scenery. Indonesia is home to some rare marine animal species. Furthermore, I'm going to take you on a journey to my hometown in the eastern part of Indonesia. It is Ternate City. Ternate is an island city located in the eastern part of Indonesia. Being a developed city with coastal scenery around it makes Ternate an extremely beautiful city. But sadly, marine waste pollution in Ternate has a worrying impact. Most of the waste that enter the sea comes from the gutters, then into the dead river until it flows into the sea when it rains heavily. So what have the youth done to preserve the marine ecosystem in Ternate? We have a lot of youth community to engage in coastal cleanup activity that we do regularly every weekend. We are engaged with planting mangrove forest activity that helps to preserve the coast. And we are also promoting and spreading news and positive action through social media about nature and ocean to inspire the public. We have our plan to get government attention and support for environmental maritime issues by delivering recommendations to the local government and providing, for the purpose of this presentation, I'll take my hometown as an example. It is garbage bin facilities and waste management mechanism throughout the river to prevent the waste from entering the sea. We also want to create and development young environmentalists more in the city of Ternate to prevent waste from entering the sea. This effort will be maximize inclusivity in Ternate in terms of youth participation towards the collective climate action. Talking about youth participation, as one of the government programs that collaborate with youth action, I'm proudly to introduce you to the program that I represent today. It is the Green Youth Movement. So what is the Green Youth Movement? The Green Youth Movement is a program collaboration between the Ministry of Environment and Forestry of Indonesia with Indonesian Green Institute for the environmental movement that provides a forum for the high schooler in Indonesia to exchange knowledge in protecting and managing the environment. The Green Youth Movement was created to introduce, raise awareness, and engage students towards the issue of climate change. The goal is to obtain an overview of the main concept of the movement that will be implemented. And how can the Green Youth Movement contribute to preventing climate change? Through action and collaboration which has been programmed, we believe that it helped a lot for us to start create a positive impact to the nature and ocean. For more about the Green Youth Movement, gonna be explained from my partner or the next speaker. Through contribution and support from various parties, it creates the youth commitment to preservation the marine ecosystem. By starting to do any small action, engage in community until being a leader is not only creating change to their local area. When every youth can engage in this activity around the part of the world, it's going to creating a brighter future for our Earth. Because we are the inhabitants of the Earth, especially my generation, as a youth of the present and the leader for our future. As a youth, we hope that marine life should be a clean and cultivated ocean environment, because the ocean needs us and we need the ocean. Thank you very much, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mas Deva Ardan Gandhi Hanafi, Mas Deva Ardan, for your inspiring presentations. Yeah, I like the way you deliver and also addressing the SDG 14, as we are all aware. SDG 14 stands for the life below the water. So you also suggest us like to use the Tumblr, run a campaign, organize a cleanup project, reduce waste, and also throw a charity. It's a good way to campaign your acts to the public. I also love when you say that Indonesia is the largest archipelagic country in the world. So that is why the marine ecosystem is the most important things to be considered and managed well in Indonesia. And you also try to explain your cities, beautiful cities, Ternate in North Maluku province. And also you also say that the youth movement to inspire the public should underline the inclusivity, the involvement, and the engagement. So, yeah, thank you very much for your presentations. And we can have questions and answers later on after all of the speakers. And I would like to invite the next speaker, which is Mbak Jesselyn Evani Yosekwan. Yeah, Mbak Jesselyn Evani Yosekwan, you have the floor.
I believe that every country in the world has experienced forest and land fires. Yes, forest and land fires. But have you ever felt concerned about this disaster? Greetings, honorable delegates. My name is Jesselyn Evania Sekwan, and I am 16 years old, proudly representing Indonesia as one of the Indonesian Youth Green Ambassadors 2023. So today, I am excited to share with you a presentation on the crucial role of youth in addressing environmental pollution stemming from forest and land fires. So Indonesia is a country with the 8th largest forest area in the world, known for being rich in various types of biodiversity. In addition, Indonesia also have an important role in stabilizing the Earth's temperature because the ability of trees to absorb the carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming. Even though Indonesia has an enormous forest area, unfortunately, Indonesia is also one of the countries that has lost their forests in the last 20 years, caused by various factors, which I will elaborate on the next slides. Large forest and land fires in Indonesia occur mostly in Sumatra and Kalimantan Islands. Since the severe fire in 1980s and 1990s, Indonesia also have garnered attention from around the world. Again, in 2007, 2012, and 2015, there were a significant land and forest fire that polluted the country itself and bringing some potential impacts. However, when we take a look at the bar chart on the following years, the number of fire has decreased rapidly, which shows that Indonesia has been successful in making efforts to reduce forest and land fires. Forest and land fires, according to many cases, would significantly affect the economic sector by causing agricultural damage, impacting public health, limiting civil mobilizations, leading to losses in natural resources, as well as tourism potentials. Moreover, the resulting smoke reduces the productivity on a daily basis, contributing to an economic downturns periodically. On the other hand, forest and land fires in Indonesia, in my hometown to be precise, present severe health risk as in respiratory and cardiovascular caused by the post-impact of the issues. That being said, vulnerable populations, especially children and the elderly, within surrounding civilization are exposed by the increased potential threats of these health problems. Therefore, I am here to voicing out that addressing this risk involves not only collective mitigation plan or action, but also protective measures for at-risk group as well as public awareness campaigns. So the government of Indonesia accomplished this feat using several strategies. So the first one is weather modification technology, or we call it as TMC, were used to control forest and land fires since 2015. TMC operations have been further enhanced since 2020 by involving more parties in regular weather modification activities that you can see at the presentation here. So the second one is community and government cooperation. By sharing information regarding fire location and the preparedness of the local and governmental entities that are directly involved in fighting this flame, we can support one another through this collaboration. Hence, we'll get to the crucial question: what is the significance of youth on the matter? What have Indonesian youth done on contributing to save the country from the issues of land and forest fire? Respecting Sustainable Development Goals number 4, which highlights the importance of high-quality education, our country has surely helped the next generation, and also my generation, to learn more and gain awareness on educational institution level through socialization about the role that land and forest fire play in contributing to the climate change. But do you really believe that by only education is enough? For me, I'll say no. Without a doubt, education is insufficient on its own. We also require a real action. Numerous younger generations in Indonesia are currently developing a sense of environmental responsibility. As a result, numerous groups of all sizes have formed with shared objective of defending Earth against dangers. As I previously stated, that I am one of the Indonesian Youth Green Ambassadors 2023, and I became the recipient of this title by taking part in the Green Youth Movement, an environmental education program. So the Green Youth Movement has also succeeded in gathering and appointing almost 2,000 young individuals across Indonesia as the Green Ambassadors who are concerned about environmental issues and the sustainability of our planet. Green Youth Movement as a program was established by collective collaboration between actors such as the government and Indonesian Green Institute. That being said, this is a form of realization in terms of cooperations toward meaningful youth participation. Therefore, I would like to emphasize that Green Youth Movement and other similar programs as a form of realization towards Indonesia's sustainable development targets ambition. And I quote, as to ensuring that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to promote sustainable developments, including, among the other things, through education, sustainable developments, and lifestyle, end quote. Now let's take a look at the presentation. So these are the photos that I have collected from Indonesian youth that shows a contribution on preserving Indonesian forest. I am glad and pleased to observe that Indonesian youth are becoming more conscious of the need of protecting the environment. So, what are you waiting for? We are all know that our earth needs our help. So, kindly ask everyone present as well as those around the globe to begin spreading awareness and acting seriously. We can begin with the most simple thing, like planting trees, disposing trash properly, protecting the environment, and so forth, because every little contribution does matters, guys. So we don't have much time left to save our world. And if it's not us, who will? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mbak Jesselyn Evania Yoshekwan. It is a really great pleasure, like you address the forestry sectors. And you also explained that in Indonesia as one of the largest forest owner in the world. That's true, that's the fact. So we are running the world in a way when we talk about how to manage the forest sustainably. And then you also try to address the El Nino as one of the uh, special things that always happening in 5 years. Yeah, in every 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it's also become the one of the biggest major factor of the forestry losses, and it's also become the main causes of the forest fire or forest and land fire, as we all know in Indonesian terms. And the forest fire itself also affected to both economic and also the health aspects. As I am just known that you are coming from South Sumatra, South Sumatra province, Palembang city, which is you also addressed that the haze pollutions coming from the forest fire also happened in your city, and it affects greater, especially related to the health aspects, right? So, but however, yeah, I mean, like the first speaker, Mas Deva Arden, the second speaker, Mbak Jesselyn, you both try to address the sustainable development goals in a very good way. And Mbak Jesselyn also try to connect with the SDG 4, the quality educations, which is definitely not enough when we talk about to improve, to escalate the quality of the educations without thinking about the other SDGs, because we have 17 goals, right? So it will be not enough. But you also address that the Green Youth Movement, like as a way to raise the voice, also try to inspire the public, the government actors, the government sectors, private actors, and so on, as a multi-stakeholders, multi-actors, and also multi-sectors. And it's connect with Mas Deva Arden said that it's always talking about the involvement of all people in implementing the programs. So thank you for your very great presentations, and I would like to invite Mas Gravita Eka Purnama to having a presentation. Mas Eka, the floor is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Indonesian Ministry of Environment and Forestry and the whole Indonesian Pavilion teams at COP28 Dubai 2023 and distinguished delegates. My name is Gravita Eka Purnama. I came from Central Java, Indonesia. My both friend speakers are from east of Indonesia, and the other one is from the west of Indonesia. I am in the middle. Before I go to my presentation, I'd like to present to you my profile video as a nature conservation cadre.
saya harus bertindak. Jika bukan sekarang, kapan lagi?
Reboisasi dari Mas Ika itu tidak hanya gerakan menanam saja, tetapi juga gerakan merawat. Peran Mas Eka di Desa Wan sini yang hubungannya dengan konservasi lingkungan adalah dia sebagai motivator kami, teman-teman penggerak pecinta alam, khususnya di base camp Gunung Perahu Sahabat Alam, membawa manfaat untuk masyarakat yang luar biasa.
Roda akan terus berputar, walau dengan keprihatinan untuk mencapai titik tertinggi. Saya bukanlah pahlawan, saya hanya pejuang yang hingga kini setia pada kelestarian.
Thank you very much. As you can see from my video, I'm here represent nature conservation cadre to voicing out our contribution and ambition. A conservation cadre, as a person designated as a successor of conservation effort who has awareness and knowledge about conservation, volunteers, is willing and be able to convey conservation messages to the community. The role of the conservation cadre is as initiator, motivator, facilitator, and dynamist. The function and the duties of conservation cadres are as pioneers, drivers of a natural resource conservation effort. Conservation cadres are expected to play an active role in developing and mobilizing effort to conserve natural resources in society. God Almighty created forest as a bountiful resource that offer many advantages to humanity for the benefit of human prosperity both now and in the future. Forests can be preserved and used to their fullest potential. Forests tend to deteriorate in condition because they are a source of prosperity for people and one of the factors that determine life support system. Deteriorating forest quality is a result of illegal logging, forest fire, and land conversion, all which contribute to global warming and climate change. To ensure community welfare, forests must be preserved to fullest extent possible, and their carrying capacity must be managed sensibly, transparently, professionally, and responsibly. To guarantee that forests continue to be sustainable, numerous initiatives have been undertaken, such as those aimed at safeguarding, maintaining, forest resource. And of course, impact of the forest sustainability on community welfare will be positive. As you see, local wisdom conservation in Mount Perahu, Central Java. The condition of Mount Prau here. Mount Prau has height of 2,695 meters above sea level, with hilly topography and sometimes very steep. Mount Prau becomes a buffer for 5 districts in Central Java. From Temanggung district, Wonosobo, Kendal, Batang, and Pekalongan. People believe that Mount Prau in Dieng Plateau, which is believed to be the highest place in Central Java, in Java actually, and then the place where the gods resides. The achievement Mount Prau conservation is, as you can see in the picture there, forest fire occurred around 2010. Here in the corner, the forest fire destroying all vegetation and of course animals. And then starting in 2010, conservation efforts were carried out by planting and maintaining plants. In the middle you can see there only left one plant in around 3 hectares area. And continuously maintaining, as you can see in the right picture of this slide, the currently condition, there is an optimal land cover and high biodiversity. The biodiversity in Mount Prau, as you see in this picture, we have so many various plants here. This is an endemic plant from Mount Prau that we protected. You can read it and you can see there are many things, but the most endemic plant there is like beringin, Ficus variegata. This is a very sacred tree that we protect because this tree is stand beside the springs. We keep the tree still alive, and we believe that it will keep the spring, give us water more and more. And here, the edelweiss. People say that edelweiss is an immortal flower. The Latin names is Anaphalis javanica. We protect that, and its status now become vulnerable because forest fire. And of course, we have a daisy flower here in the corner of the left. This spread at most of the top of Mountain Prau. Later you can see the next slide. It will be very beautiful in the after August month. When you try to visit there, you will enjoy the very beautiful landscape. This is the animals that live in Mountain Prau. We can still see Panthera pardus melas. Many times I see the tracks of Panthera pardus melas. And then the most protected now, because this is become very vulnerable status, like a lutung budang. Also we call this lutung Jawa, Tresipetus auratus, and landak Jawa, alang Jawa also. Then there are many things, endemic animals in Mount Prau. Management of Mount Prau merging with below slide. Water utilization, we use this as a fishery. We grow ponds and used to produce fish. The water availability is impacted by water consumption in the context of local residents drawing water from the springs and thinking that the mountain forests are destroyed. Numerous animals, sacred trees surround the biodiversity, surround the forest resources, as I say, helping to preserve it. In the theory, maintaining plants involves routinely fertilizing and pulling weeds. After 3 years, this will cease and the plant is deemed grown and able to withstand the pest plants that are a natural part of the ecosystem. Using ecotourism to make use of environmental services. We have kept up with ongoing upkeep and planting, recruiting locals to work as a porter and mountain guides has direct link to enhancing the local economic and conservation effort. It was merely at a patchwork with little economic value when they used to monitor and maintaining the trees and the crop they had planted. Then, by performing the roles of guide and porter, the work might create economic value while maintaining and tending to previously planted plant. Making use of subsurface land extending the economic area of the coffee plants by using the space beneath the stand to grow coffee plants and raise honeybees until they understand our field and productive crops. There on the table, I bring the sample of coffee. Maybe later you can see. The biological resources protection effort. Here, the Forest Patrol, in collaboration with nearby communities, because daily patrols by nature production agencies are not feasible. Community-led forest patrol are crucial. In order to slow down or even halt the pace of poaching and illegal trafficking, the community plays as a crucial role. Whether they are grazing in the forest or searching for wood on a daily basis. If someone is out on patrol and comes across any plants or animals that are protected and at the highest levels of environmental conservation, they can also report it. The animal and plants can then be continually protected once the coordinates have been mapped. Afterward, Nature Conservation Cadre, or in Indonesia said KKA, Kader Konservasi Alam, is involved in the investigation of complaint about the seizure of protected animal for their subsequent release to very viable wild habitats. Here, fighting forest fire here. The government creates MPA around the forest and the community, at the community level. Communities surrounding the forest and the government, which establish the fire care community. In Indonesia, we call it MPA, Masyarakat Peduli Api. Both contribute to the effort to put out forest fire. If a forest fire breaks out in the neighborhood, MPA takes over and as the operation coordinator, in addition to be the first responder to any fire. This is effort to preserve forest resources and education. There we release animal like a lutung Jawa, as I said in the slides before, and doing education to children, even a farmer and communities, together with the government. Conservation efforts here. Keys to success is empowerment of communities around the forest. Increasing community empowerment surrounding the forest become very important. If people don't see the financial advantages of having forests, they won't be preserved. Hence, in order to preserve forests and ensure that they continue to support life in surrounding community, we must educate and encourage them in a way that advances the economy. Sometimes people just consider to seasoning planting, which is done purely for business, which damages trees, especially those found in highland. When annual plants are unable to produce advantage due to the lack of water, it turns out the trees can also be deliver greater benefit.
Excuse me, Mas Eka, yeah,
Yes.
You may finalize your presentations quickly. Thank you.
Okay. For this last sentence, if we don't build the local community, particularly in regard to catastrophic phenomena, in this case is fires, the damages that have been done or will be done to our woods will take a very long time to mend. Last word from me. The forest without human will remain sustainable, but the human without forest will not be able to survive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mas Grafika Eka Purnama. I've been informed that the conservation cadre also consider not only the forest but how to conserve the land and water, or the land and water itself. So you also mentioned about the Mount Prau, located in central Java, specifically at the Dieng Plateau, which becomes the buffer zones for 5 districts. And you also explained to us about the conservation acts that you did together with the multi-stakeholders involving the government actors too. One of the key that I've got is the forest fire fighter is everyone. Who cares about the environment? So it belongs to the squad, the people, the youth, the government, private actors, NGOs, CSOs, academics, universities, and also the enthusiasts. As well as you shown the MPA, Masyarakat Peduli Api, as a community who cares about how to deplenish or extinguish the forest and land fire. So thank you for your fruitful presentations. And we would like, before that, we have Mas Budi. Thank you for making your time to come here to giving speech and presentations. So again, Mas Budi Sugandi. Sorry. Yeah, Mas Budi Sugandi is the chairman of the Indonesian Council of Youth Development. So, Mas Budi Sugandi, the floor is yours. You may have the presentations.
Okay, good morning everyone. Selamat pagi, guten Morgen, Gunaiden. Anyone know the meaning of the language? Because I think we are diverse years, come from another country. Maybe some of you maybe come from which country, ladies? Uganda, Sri Lanka, and then Uganda, and all of us here, I think we are together to make like better Earth in the planet. First of all, I would like to thanks to Minister of Forestry and Minister of Environment and Forestry, Her Excellency Ibu Siti Nuraya Bakar, who give me the chance to attend and sharing the knowledge about the COP28. And then distinguished guests and delegates. First of all, I think we have to congratulate to our pavilions. Indonesian pavilion is always make us like amazing, because you can see, maybe some of you already tried the Indonesian food. Please, have you tried? How about the taste? Delicious, right? And also we have like dance also, so you can join maybe after lunch or in the noon time. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my presentations, and I hope we can make like not so serious, because this is the last time for us. Normally, last time we use it to make like explore the city, but no worries, we still have one day to explore the city. So this is the title of my program or my presentation, and as the moderator mentioned, I am the chairman of Indonesian Council of Youth Development. Then maybe you can next for the presentation, the slide. Yes, this is my background. I finished my master degree in Marmara University in Istanbul, Turkey. That's why I mentioned about Gunaiden. And then also in Technische Universität Braunschweig, Germany for my master also. And I just finished my doctoral degree in China. So also last year, Indonesia has become presidency for G20. And I also the co-chairman of U20. And then also I have my startup. We call it Click Coaching, because my focus actually in education. So we develop the startup focusing on the education. And also I have my own business in the for the media branding actually. Okay, next. Also, I wrote several opinion or space in the Indonesian newspaper. Most of the term is about the educations, but also I wrote about the climate and environment as well. Also, the journal, as a PhD student, we should write a journal also. Yes, little bit narcissist, I'm so sorry. Yes, some of the television invite me to make like a discussion, especially about the youths. So let's discuss. So I already have the material, but I will highlight some of the point before I read the material. First is, I think the COP28 in Dubai is very crucial, because this is the middle of the Paris Agreement in 2015, right? So we already have 7 years. And also our time, our limit is we have 7 years to finish our, for the targets or deadline of the Paris Agreement, we should have like the 1.5 Celsius at least. That's very crucial. The second one, I think, as me, I think our language, our theory, our material will look like global, international, as we discussed today, and also in another pavilion. we should make it more easy to understand, especially to young people. We discuss about the young people, but if we talk about the climate change, the disasters, even the COP, some of them confusing about the meaning, what the key message of the material of the presentation. So our homework today, after we back from the Dubai, this beautiful city and beautiful country, we need to make like very easy material, very easy to communicate to people, especially for young people. That's our homework actually. And the third one, I will discuss about the bonus demographic or demographic bonus. In my country, now we call it demographic bonus. It means like the productive age people is very high. Right now, in Indonesia, we have at least 60% of young people. And in 2030, it is our maximum. We will have 70% of young people in Indonesia. It means it will be good for us, but also it will be disaster if we are not prepared the good thing for the young people or young generation. As I mentioned before, we develop Indonesian's Council of Youth Development. Actually, it's one of the agenda is we want to make this community to more impactful, especially for the society. If you can see our members of ICYD or Indonesian Council of Youth Development, the member is come from activists. The member come from young lecturers. Some of them have a startup. So I want to make the atmosphere for young people in Indonesia to make like we have to together to make better world, especially in Indonesia. Last one, I will mention about the education and technology. Actually, we have to make improve, especially about the curriculum in the school. Maybe our school is still use the old curriculum as maybe it's not related what we face today. And also the technology. Right now, we know we are very familiar with artificial intelligence, right? With Internet of Things or IoT, with the big data, with the metaverse. The question is we are ready to use in the school? I don't think so. And also, the last one, I think the era right now, especially for Gen Z, because I read some of the research from the McKinsey, they said people from the Z generations, they are the big consumption of social media. So if you talk right now, maybe the millennial and Z generation, they will not listen for us. But if you make like the content in Instagram, in TikTok, in YouTube, maybe they will understand and they will use also our recommendation. So let me read very fast. Don't worry. I have like total is in 10 minutes, but if I am just let me know. Just remind me after two last minutes. At this COP 28 Dubai, the term being addressed, united, act, and delivers. Countries worldwide, including developing nations, have collectively agreed upon a global stock take as a catalyst for accelerating effort in addressing climate change. The global stock must serve as a catalyst for greater ambition in achieving the goal of Paris Agreement in 2015, especially striving to limit the rise in temperature to 1.5 Celsius from pre-industrial revolution. Such ambitions must be articulated by each country, though the revision of their nation determining contribution in 2015. The Organization of COP28 is almost important, as it confirmed in the 7 years following the establishment Paris Agreement in 2015. On the other hand, COP28 is also confirmed 7 years period to the 2030 deadline for the target set in Paris Agreement 2015. So let me going for the grassroots. In my opinion, all theories and discussion in each COP, including COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh that I participated before, and also this including COP28, which are inherently global and international, should be able to engage grassroots movement, including local communities, youth, and indigenous population. Certainly, regulation to enable countries to control industrial are crucial and effective, but it's important not to separate matter from grassroots engagement. For example, when we discuss about the forest, it is often the indigenous communities who play a crucial role in the preserving the sustainable of this forest. I believe that initiative undertaken at the grassroots level can serve as foundation for leadership in the fields of environment and forestry. Thus, we can all provide tagline and concrete example, leading by example. So let me make a fast for the youth issues, because the topic is about the youth, and I think almost of us here is youth. Maybe some of you are already more than 40 or 50. Maybe for the age, yes, you're not youth anymore, but for your mentality, since you're here, your mentality is youth. So, as I mentioned before, the younger generation is crucial in learning about various issues related to climate change, because they are among the group most profoundly affected by impact. Therefore, it's imprehensive for the younger generation to equip themselves with diverse knowledge about the environment and climate crisis. In Indonesia, the population of youth right now is more than 60%, including millennial, Z and post-Z generation, and will be demographic bonus with the productive age will be approximately 70% in 2030. Therefore, we should prepare for it. Of course, this is good news, but be careful, because we have in the economic issue, there is a middle income trap. If we don't be careful for the middle income trap, it will be difficult for us for make our country become like rich. Last for the moderator, because the moderator I think will be angry for me if I take more time. After understanding and mastering the issues of the climate crisis, it's hoped that the younger generation can take tangible action to save the earth, engage the campaign to encourage other through social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. Moreover, they can join communities in taking action. For example, adopting one person, one tree. Let me check here. Anyone here have the tree in their home or in their country? Okay, that's good. But maybe 80% they still don't have. Maybe because they think they have the garden. The garden is for together. But we should have at least one trees in our home, at least. For me, I have around 10 or 15 trees and also small trees. And then also even establishing the startup to recycle waste into usable items like shoes, bag, and accessories. In Indonesia, the startup to make like focus the environment is huge, is many. For example, the speaker here, they already have the startup who make like recycle for the environment. That's good. And then furthermore, the school curriculum from elementary to high school level should be improved and emphasize knowledge and practice related to climate change to foster awareness and cultivate individuals who care about the environment and earth. Digital technology must be used well. Currently, we are entering the area of artificial intelligence, big data, and then Internet of Things, metaverse. Digital technology must be used in education more efficiently and optimally. So last but not least, my message is, let's take care to young people. Because if we fail today, we fail our future. And the last one, we don't want to just make the planet livable, but we want to make it a better place to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mas Budi, for the inspiring speeches. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's a very good way to communicate because like you stated, also the way to communicate is to connect what we will got from the COP28 UNFCCC Dubai UAE and what we will do when we going back to our country, to our city, like try to act, try to contribute to the country's program. Also, one of a good that I am truly underlined your statement is the demographic bonus in Indonesia. So yes, I do agree. One side, it is a very good situation. We have a lot of younger generations, like a couple years ahead. But however, on the other side, it also could be a trap for us to be stayed in the middle income countries. Yeah, middle income countries, because we are targeting to be to become the next developed countries. Also, yeah, I also like that you also address one man, one tree, as so for us to remembrance that yeah we need to contribute to our lovely world. So I do believe that there are a lot of burning questions. May I have two people who want to ask? Mbak Mugi, could you please help?
No. Yeah. Thank you so much. My name is Brian Bishkul. I'm Maya Tsutuhil. I'm indigenous from Guatemala, and I work for Cultural Survival. We're an indigenous-led indigenous rights organization working to advocate for the rights of indigenous peoples. We are also part of a coalition. It's called the Search Coalition. We're also trying to protect the rights of indigenous peoples in the green transition. And we heard at this COP that there was a pledge by several countries to tripling the capacity of renewable energy production. Now, this is very important because Indonesia is one of the largest countries where nickel is being extracted. And there are several documented cases of violations of indigenous peoples there. And my question is, how is the youth advocating for the rights of indigenous peoples in spaces like this and also in Indonesia as we are working together and trying to build coalitions to protect the rights of indigenous peoples? And I know that maybe this is not something that one of you could answer, but I think there's also an important space to open a conversation. And again, it's, the name of our coalition is the Search Coalition. I invite you to learn more about us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. I'm sorry, Ryan, Miss Cool. Okay, from Guatemala. So yeah, thank you for addressing the indigenous people because like Indonesian are all indigenous people. I'm also proud of it. I also the indigenous people. But however, in Indonesia, there are people who lives in the city, who also lives like surrounding the forest areas, which is remote. So we call them like the local people. So, but however, you also address the pledge of the renewable energy production. And your question is like, how was the youth to contribute to protect the rights of the people? I think, could I address like the people who live in the remote areas? Is it correct? Okay, great. So, probably, who wants to answer first? Mas Budi? Great.
Then maybe you can add also if you want. Yeah, maybe I can answer. Thank you for the question. It's a great question actually. So, yeah, indigenous people is very important, I think. But the number one is, I think, is about the educations. They should have enough knowledge about the environment, about the nickel, for example. Otherwise, it will be difficult to make like them as only as an object. They should become like the subject. So we should educate them so they know what's the potential in their area, for example. That's the first one. The second one, of course, if we talk about the nickel, we should talk about the regulations in the countries. Because for the regulation, it will be more impactful for the society. So in Indonesia, I think we have the Ministry of Investment first, who focus for these issues. The second one also, the Ministry of Environment and Forestry also had a great job, I think. There is a Director General, Mr. Agus, who are very focusing for this issue. And then I think he did very good job for these issues. So I mean, we will focus for two sides. First side is about the society. We have to educate people. We should give them the enough knowledge. The second one about the regulation from the governments. That's my answer.
Very well. Thank you, Mas Budi. Is there probably...
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for the question. Okay, yeah, I'm also from the eastern part of Indonesia, that there's a lot of indigenous people there. And in the eastern part of Indonesia, there's like, I know that there's a like mine activity place that a lot of indigenous people there that affect from that activity. So I think that it's very important that we have to get education. I totally agree with him that of course, we as a youth, that we have our right to speak, to give voice to the government, because you know we are the next generation in the world, and this also how can tell that how important the forum or the organization that we can like bridging the voice from the indigenous people to the government, to how can the government can give the solution or the innovation or can solve the problem for the indigenous people that facing right now.
Thank you, Mas Devardan. So we could have the last question, the last burning questions. So please, somebody could help me to giving the mic to the lady with the red dress. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Helen Tete from Nigeria. Thank you for your presentation, and yeah, I agree. Some of us are youth at heart. We are refusing to grow older. However, you know, in the course of your presentations and your submissions, I just was reminded that the earth that we want to heal is a global village now, right? So if one side of the village know this much, you have this other side of the village that need to catch up. Now, are there initiatives to escalate what you're doing in Indonesia to some part of the world, like Africa and Nigeria? That's one question. And if it's a yes or no, can there be a buy-in through your embassies in African countries? That's what I want to know.
Thank you very much, Madam Helen from Nigeria. So thank you for your question. So yes, the questions related to the Earth as the global village. So what is the contributions of the Indonesian youth? Yeah, to other continents, as well as like we also aware that we are both our countries stands for the Asia and Africa. So is there anyone who wants to answer? Okay, Mas Budi.
That's a great question also. So thank you for the questions. I think, yes, in Indonesia, we have around 270 million people. And also there is a big gap for the education and about the quality of the education. But yes, that's one issues of one of the problem in my country, but we try to solve the problem. For example, in our Ministry of Education, they make like a program to focusing on the new curriculum, and also they make like industrial program, for example. So, based to your questions, yeah, I think let me start from the end about the how to make connecting between Indonesia, for example, with the Africa, for example. In my country, we make also like the scholarships. We open, especially for developing country, especially from the Africa, they come to Indonesia to studying, for example, in Universitas Islam International Indonesia, or in the biggest university like University of Indonesia and Gajah Mada University. And also we send also our students to another country. That's one of our program. The second one, I think we make like cultural exchange, yes. For example, we have also summer program. So we want to invite them to join the program so we know each other about the program. And last thing, of course, in Indonesia, if you remember, we have like Asia Africa program at the time. So don't worry, we are neighbor. We are far away, but we are neighbor because there is now is borderless. So we will help each other for our quality of the human. Thank you. Yeah, I hope it's answer your questions. We will discuss after the cafe tea outside. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just want to add in a little bit. So I am also one of the Indonesian Youth Green Ambassadors 2023. So respecting the sustainable developments number 4, our government also like giving some platform for the young generation to advocate a lot of people and giving some exchange knowledge, exchange experience so that we can collecting people's awareness and like their communication that also important for gaining awareness of respecting the climate change and also like how to save our environment and our earth. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do believe that there are still a lot of burning questions, but however, because like the time is very limited, so we would like to have further discussions after the sessions with all of the panel speakers. However, yeah. So could you guys like having a very short one sentence jargon or quotes that you want to say to the people? Yeah, only one sentences. Yeah. Yeah, like a very short one. So, yeah, please probably start from Mas Eka.
Okay. For the last sentences that I try to remind you, we must keep the forest because this forest without humans, it will be still remain sustainable. But without the forest, human will not able to survive. Keep the forest, keep the world become green. And keep this green planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Eka.
We all know that our Earth need our help. So kindly ask everyone here, present here, to start doing some every little changes, like planting a trees, dissolving the trash properly, because every little things that you do, guys, matters. So yeah, if it's not us, then who will? Thank you.
Thank you.
So my last sentence is, let's take care of young generations, because if you lose today, we will lose our futures. Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Budi.
So my last word for me was you have to support your youth in your area to because we know that the youth is the next generation of the world. So let's love our earth.
Thank you very much, all of the speakers. What a fruitful and effective discussion we have in this beautiful morning. I don't want to conclude the presentations and speeches from all of the speakers. However, as we've seen, the youth are having big roles in climate actions, as well as they will become the future leaders in a couple years ahead. Therefore, by giving the youth an opportunity to be involved in the climate actions, it also directly preparing them to become the future generations to contribute to the climate change adaptation and mitigation. That is all from me, Yoga Hadi Prasatya, as the moderator of the stations. I'm giving back the rest to the Master of Ceremony, Ms. Desmona Chandra. And see you again at the COP 29 UNFCCC somewhere in the world. Thank you.